This is a demonstration of crossing cables in a knit to purl to rib fabric where the cable is only crossed on one side of the fabric using one cable needle rather than two cable needles and manoeuvring the stitches. So I'm going to start knitting up to my first cable. So those of you who are used to crossing your cables without a cable needle at all may find this a more useful way than using two cable needles. So this first cable is a left leaning cable. It is very difficult to do this type of cabling without a cable needle at all, so you can do it though with just one cable needle. I'm going to take the first two knit stitches, so I'm using 6 stitches, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit. I'm putting the first 2 knit stitches onto the cable needle to hold at the front. I now have 2 purl and 2 knit. I need to cross these 2 knit stitches in front of these 2 purl stitches. So I can do that, and I find it easier to slip all the stitches over to the right needle first because that loosens them up a bit. I can then come behind because these purl stitches have got to stay at the back. So I've gone behind the 2 knit stitches, pull my right needle out and then pick up the 2 knit stitches. The purl stitches are already on my left needle. I can now place those 2 knit stitches onto my left needle, and I can now knit 2, purl 2, and then knit the last 2 stitches which are on the cable needle off the cable needle. And that gives me my left twisting cable. So I'm just going to demonstrate that one again. Those are my next 6 stitches. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 2. Put the first knit 2 stitches onto a cable needle and leave them at the front. I now need to swap the positions of the 2 purl and knit stitches because these 2 knit stitches have to cross in front of the 2 purl. And I'm going to move them all over to my right needle first. You can probably just reach across and pick up the knit stitches, drop them all off and put the purl, but I prefer to do them this way. I can now put my needle into the back of the 2 purl stitches, and it is easier if you've got needles with a good taper. I now pull my right needle out, so I've got the 2 purl stitches already on the left needle. I can pick up the 2 knit stitches with the point of my right needle and bring them across in front and place them on the left needle, and now work the stitches in sequence. Knit 2, purl 2, and then knit these 2 off of the cable needle. So that's the 2 left crossing cables. We now want to do the right leaning cable cross. So this time the furthest 2 knit stitches have to cross in front of the knits and purls, but these 2 knit stitches have to cross in front of these 2 purl stitches. So I'm going to slip these two stitches onto the cable needle, and then I'm going to cross them now. So I'm going to put my needle back into the front of the knit stitches so they can cross in front of the purl stitches, pick up the two purl stitches onto the cable needle, and then put the two knit stitches onto the cable needle. So those 4 stitches have now been reordered. Hold them at the back, knit the next 2 stitches, and then bring up the stitches, and because I've already reordered them on my cable needle, they are now in the correct sequence of purl 2, knit 2. So I purl 2, and then knit 2 off the cable needle. And that gives me the right leaning cross. So I'm going to demonstrate that once more. Knit the 2. So I need to reorder these 2 first. So if I slip them, so I'm going to slip all 4 onto the cable needle, and then with my left needle I'm going to come across and pick up the 2 knit stitches, pull the cable needle out so that the stitches drop behind, pick up the purl stitches onto the cable needle, which are now behind the knit stitches, and then slide the knit stitches onto the cable needle as well, and leave all 4 stitches at the back, knit 2, and then bring up the cable needle so that I can now work purl 2, knit 2 off the cable needle. And then just get to the end of the row. So there we have 2 left leaning crosses and 2 right leaning crosses.